Welcome to Sharp or Square, presented by Hard Rock Bet. We are part of the Volume Podcast Network. This is the show that makes the square sharper and makes the wise guys pay attention. I am Chad Millman. I am joined, as always, by my BFF, my companion, my compadre, my co-host, professional bettor, Simon Hunter. Hello, Simon.
Chad, how we doing?
I'm great. I'm freaking fantastic. I feel like it's been a weirdly, tell me if you agree, it feels like a weirdly quiet Super Bowl week. And what I mean by that is the line has stayed the same. There hasn't been a lot of, Super Bowl opening night quote controversy. It's been 4.5. It's 45.5. Injuries haven't been an issue. I actually feel like in the last 48 hours, NFL news has been subsumed by NBA trade deadline news. Just feels like a very sort of quiet Super Bowl week right now.
I guess I'm just in a boat with it. I know nothing about NBA trade news at all. NFL wise, I guess you're right. Maybe there's not a pop because it's not. We're coming off a high of Mahomes, right? This run of Mahomes. I mean, going for the three-peat last year.
That's right.
He's just been on this incredible run. It's hard to get fired up, I won't lie, for Sam Darnold, Drake Maye. It just is. If this was Josh Allen finally made it or Lamar finally made it, I would probably have a little bit more juice. But, yeah, maybe that's what's lacking, I think, for the general public. But, yeah, my world, it's never-ending, Chad. Everyone's got an opinion, and I would say it's hit probably 65%, 60-ish%. All pros I've talked to are pretty confident on the Patriots side. So,
really?
Yeah, they're feeling pretty good, Chad. So I really thought it was going to be super, super Seahawks heavy, but it seems like it's definitely the pros. They're taking positions on this Patriots team. But I say it all the time, it's in a one-game coin flip type of scenario. The Super Bowl is so random. I'm not going to let it worry me too much. If this was week 5, I would tell you right now we might be in some trouble, Chad. But it's not. It's a Super Bowl week. I'm dug in. Love the Seahawks still. Have just leaned into it totally. And, it's just fun because so many opinions are changing every day where, all last week it was all Drake Maye. He's banged up. Then this week, Seahawks, their star rookie safety, rolled an ankle last play of the game, and now everyone's freaking about the Seahawks. So some injury worry, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think you're right. It's been a pretty mellow week, right? No, not too much drama, no real madness from the media side of things.
Someone needs to start dating Taylor Swift to start getting some storylines going on here. Since this is our Thursday pre-Super Bowl episode, it's going to be mostly props. We have a very special guest we're going to get to in a minute. We are going to have our Brass Balls Bet of the Week. We are going to have the final Chad's Choice of the season. I want to do that in 1 second, but you said something to me very interesting the other day that I think is germane and relevant to the show we're doing today. Regardless of the sides, so much more of the action is on the props. And I feel like this year more than ever, we started to hear about it last year where Saquon Barkley became the action that every book needed, right? It was Saquon Barkley touchdowns, Saquon Barkley rushing yards, whatever it was. Every book needed him not to do anything in that game. This year, we're hearing the same thing again. It's all about the props. What else are you hearing from professionals about? Are they leaning more into the props and the sides? Are you getting that sort of feeling as well?
Yeah, props will always be, and again, it depends on how old the professional is. Like if I know plenty of professionals below the age of 30, they don't even do sides or totals. They only do props. So for them, the Super Bowl is the holy grail because you can get so much money down on these props at all different books. Where during the regular season, you are lucky to get above a 1K bet on a prop.
Yeah.
The books, they're just so keen to it. They know these pros can get insane value on these numbers. So yeah, the prop market's heated up. We talk a little bit about, these prediction markets. That's a whole nother world that's really heated up in the prop market because I mean, you can make prop bets on just about every little thing on these sites.
Yeah.
Now. So yeah, it's really opened things up. I remember my first time in Vegas for the Super Bowl, seeing a sheet of 200 props was mind blowing. Like I'll just never forget. I was like, this is overwhelming. This is going to take me all 2 weeks to get through it. Now it's like thousands. I mean, thousands of different props. Anything you can think of. I mean, it really is a wild time. So yeah, I would say you're right with your assessment. The guys are really taking a position on props, but yeah, the old school guys and like most guys that I talk to, they're still harping about totals, first half totals, first half sides, full game sides, full game totals. And that's really that's what these guys love to bet, right? They're gonna have their models and their opinions on the number and the totals. So it's still heavy to that. But yeah, I would definitely say the new age, the next generation from 21 up to 39, 40, props. All the pros I talk to. It's just I'm the same way. I like betting stupid props. I mean, you wanted me to have a fat lineman catch a touchdown? I'm betting it. You want me to have the over 2.5 different pass attempts in the game? I'm betting it. I want to bet on Cooper Kupp throwing a pass. So I'm totally on board. I told old heads these type of bets. They're like, you're a sucker. You're throwing your money away. They're from a different world. So yeah, it's definitely an age split on props.
So it's funny. One of the guys I'm talking to for the book that I'm writing, he has focused his entire career on props. And
it's a hard life.
Yeah,
it's hard to get money.
It's hard to get money down. It's it's been a fascinating thing to write about for the book, and we'll obviously talk more about the book when it's about to come out many months from now. But and I write all about like how hard it is to get money down, how hard it is to scale, and how hard it's just a grind. It's a massive grind. And a lot of guys who are professionals, they really do sort of they scale out of it because it does become so difficult and it's hard to build a network of getting money down with other people and things like that. But we were texting the other day, he's in Vegas now. And I said to him, I really like the Seahawks. He said that he was betting one of the props he bet. He goes, this is stupid, but one of the props I bet, Seattle minus 31 at plus 3,100 or something like that, which made me feel better because I have been layering Seattle alts in a variety of ways, which I want to talk to you and our guest about. It also made me feel better because before we get to our guest, and we're going to be talking so much about props, I do want to give out our final category bets of the season. Chad's Choice, presented by Hard Rock Bet, is one of those Seattle alts, Seattle minus 6.5 plus 115 at Hard Rock Bet. That is number one. Number two, Brass Balls Bet of the Week, presented by Hard Rock Bet. This one, it's so gross and so yucky. I can't believe we're offering it, Simon.
You know what it takes? It takes brass balls.
New England Patriots first drive punt minus 113. Gross. Just gross.
It's gross. Are these new graphics, Matt Mitchell? I love them, man. I love the new graphics for the Super Bowl, stepping it up.
All right. Don't forget, you can get the shows at Sharper Square on YouTube. Go subscribe. And like this video while you're at it, you can also subscribe to Sharper Square on Apple Pod, Spotify, etc. All right. Props are popular. We've been talking about it. We're doing our prop episode today with one of our favorite people from the Action Network, a man who dives deep into the props, a man who has given out long shot future winners to both you and I, long shot prop winners, one of the most creative thinkers in the business. I am talking about our former colleague, Brandon Anderson. Welcome, Brandon.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Well, it's great. I'm feeling really good now that I know all the wise guys are on the Patriots. It's funny. After I've been betting my brains out on the Seahawks, and not just that, and we're going to get into the props, but I feel like the entire sort of narrative I've built for this game is based on Seahawks controlling the ball, Patriots needing to come back in this game. Do you have a broad opinion at this point?
Yeah, I think it's interesting as I heard you talk about the Seattle -4.5, 6.5, 31. That's where I started. Like coming out of Championship Sunday, I was like, all right, well, season's over. We saw the Super Bowl. We saw Seahawks Rams. We got our winner. We found out who they're going to beat. Let's find out how much they're going to win by. And for like 10 days of this process, that's where it was. And then you start listening to some of the other content. You're trying to, think what am I missing? What's the opposite of my view? And I started being like, well, what about this angle? Well, what about play action? What about the Patriots, this thing? And you start kind of coming back the other way, and you're like, man, I don't know, 4.5 is kind of a lot. The underdogs are covering all these numbers lately, and I thought I was going to pull all the way back, and then I did my last prep these last couple of days, and I made my final picks. I was like, no, Seattle. We're on Seattle. Seattle is the spot to be. This is what I thought. And two, it's interesting with Super Bowl, normally we're preparing on a Sunday for like 14 games or something. You're finding angles all over the place. And suddenly you got one game and 2 weeks of shows and content to fill for one game. And it's like, okay, so what do? Do you choose this is the game and this is the script and this is exactly what I think, and I'm going to bet that 12 different ways and here's my menu? Or do you say, okay, choose your own adventure. If Seattle's up early, here's the bet for that. If I'm wrong and the Patriots return the opening kick for a touchdown, what's the bet for that? How do I bet? Do you cover your bases and kind of give yourself 4 or 5 scripts for the Super Bowl? Or do you just say, this is the one that I most agree with and go all in? And, I think you can do either one of those if you're doing it right.
Oh, shit, Brandon. Don't fucking hedge. Don't be a coward. Over here, my little fund, we're going all in, brother. We are all in on whatever the Seahawks are going to do in this game. It's Seahawks or bust for us.
I've really Chad no longer is allowed to sit on the fence here. I've literally beat him down to a man that I make him pick a side, and it's the way it should be. It's tough. We all hate doing it, but yeah, I'm totally in line with him. Where it's like I was wavering a little bit about the Patriots, right? You hear so much noise, and it's like, oh my god, am I missing something here? But I'm back all in on the Seahawks as well. So not all the professionals, Chad, are on the Patriots, right? There's still some of us on the chalky side with the Joe Public, but yeah, I was definitely shocked to hear how many people have taken a position on the Patriots because I did think it was going to be the world versus their sports books, but all things have evened out in the world, Chad. Don't worry, the pros are on one side, the public's on the other.
We are the public in this game. I don't mind being chalky. All right. Brandon, let's kick off with the unit you feel most confident in right now, which is the Seahawks defense. You've just explained, you've come down on the side of the Seahawks. It is going to be because of the Seahawks defense. Why are you so confident in this Seahawks defense and how it matches up with what the Patriots can do from a betting point of view?
Yeah, so it's Seahawks defense and it's also Patriots offense being actually the thing I maybe feel least confident with this matchup as well. So to me, all year long, looking at all 32 teams, the 2 units that I most believed in, Rams offense, Seahawks defense. And we saw that. We saw that match. We saw it play out 3 times. We saw these fireworks showdowns, and we saw them like number 1 DVOA offense, Rams, number 1 DVOA defense, Seahawks. Since week 13, the Seahawks gave up 64 points to the Rams. They gave up 44 points to everybody else on the schedule in that stretch. 44 points on 62 drives defensively, 2 touchdowns, 7 points a game to anybody other than the Rams. And that includes 2 49ers games that we thought the 49ers were this buzzsaw offense until they weren't anymore. And we're, Purdy and blah, blah, blah. They were crushing everybody. And then they weren't because they played the Seahawks. That's how good the defense has been at everything. Patriots offense, meanwhile, had all the good numbers in the regular season because we all know about how soft the schedule was. Now they're facing these tough defenses, and the numbers are ghastly. Since 1979 is how long it's been since we have a team averaging 18 points a game that made the Super Bowl. 1979. They're averaging negative 0.73 EPA per drive, the Patriots so far. That's basically the Jets' regular season number. The Patriots offense has been the Jets offense. For comparison, it's the worst EPA per drive for a Super Bowl team since the 2000 Ravens, or the 2015 Broncos. Guess what? Those are defense teams. Those are all-in defense teams that we knew that at the time that had just enough offense. That's not what the Patriots are supposed to be. So if you're buying Patriots right now, I think you have to be buying that it's this suddenly hyper elite defense. The offense hasn't really shown up all season long. Drake Maye hasn't really faced a lot of great competition. So suddenly now his numbers are dropping. 33rd percentile EPA in the playoffs among quarterbacks, 33rd percentile against top 10 defenses on the season. He's had 9 games this season with a PFF grade 60 or higher. Here's who they're against: Miami, the Jets, Carolina, Buffalo, New Orleans, Tennessee, and the Giants. Hooray for you. Congrats on your above average games. Only 4 of those since week 7. He's had 8 games, 50 percentile or below PFF and EPA, 6 since week 7. Seattle's held quarterbacks to that mark 14 out of 19 games. So this to me is a real mismatch. And Seattle, we know how good their run defense is. Patriots are not going to be able to run the ball in this game. They're not, haven't been a good run team anyways. Patriots really rely on explosive plays, number 1 all season, but Seattle is second against explosives. Drake Maye's air yard throws have dropped from early in the season to late in the year. Seattle's number 1 against wide receiver 1. So that's Stefon Diggs. It's okay. You can't run the ball. You can't throw a lot to Diggs. You can't go deep to Booty. What's left? Then we just took the whole offense away if that's what's happening. And we're talking about the offensive line. We've seen Will Campbell. We've seen those rookies on the left side really struggle as the season's gone on. We know Seattle's pressure rate. So to me, coming out swinging here, Patriots team total under 20.5. That's the first bet I'm going to give out here. Patriots have only gone under that 4 times all season, but 2 of them in the playoffs already. Seattle has held non-Rams opponents under 20.5 in 13 of 16 games this season. So throw out the number 1 Rams offense, and this is hitting 13 of 16 times, 15 points a game, and 2 of those 3 overs came in garbage time, 1 in the final minute. I'll give you a trivia. Who's the team that actually went over 20.5? That's not the Rams. Do either of you know from the season who beat the Seahawks 21 points or better?
Well, beat the Seahawks or
not beat the Seahawks. Who put up 21 or more to go over this line?
Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona, I believe, was at 20.
Okay. Then I
It was
don't know.
early in the season. It's a quarterback that got hurt and was much worse late in the season.
Baker.
Baker is correct. The Buccaneers dropped, I think, 38, I believe, on the Seahawks.
They won that game. Me and Chad actually won that bet.
Yeah. And by the way, these are also both bottom 4 in pace neutral as well. So I think we're going to get a slower game overall. That can help an under as well. I'm not positive. We'll talk about the other side of the ball. I'm not positive about Seattle's offense, New England's defense yet. I just don't think New England's going to score very much. So Patriots under 20.5.
All right, look, everything you just said makes me feel so much better. So, like, Simon, why are people coming in on the Patriots? What do we think here?
I mean, honestly, a lot of it is because of the trends of the dogs. Like I told you, if you just blindly bet the dogs down the Super Bowl, the public is giving you a free 0.2 to 2 points every time. And you've seen the books have gotten so much sharper. I mean, I think back to that Giants, what they opened 13 plus 13 against the Patriots, and it got bet down to like 11.5 by kickoff. But those days feel long gone. They'll never have those type of snares again, because that's what we feel like we have right here. Like that's how I feel like that's how big this spread should be, where the Patriots feel so lucky to be here. They've earned it. I've said it all along the way. They've earned it. They've won those games. But the path, you cannot overlook the path they took to get here and how favorable it was for this team. And this is the ultimate test. The fact that they're looking at is you're fading Sam Darnold as a 4.5 point favorite in the Super Bowl. That's basically the basis of most guys I talk to, where it's like, isn't that a lot to give to a guy who had one great game in the playoffs, which is what he did. That Rams game was incredible. It was great. I feel like he found something in that game. That is why they're just like, you're betting a lot on a guy who had one good game, where we have 3 other games where he, you can say he didn't do much against the 49ers. I still think he made big time throws, but last year against the Rams and then last year against the Lions in that biggest games, he did not show up and he faltered and he played really poorly. And I think a lot of guys are still holding that against him. So it's a big number. Like we said, 4.5 is a big number when you're talking about a 1-game sample, winner take all type of matchup. But I've said it to you, Chad, I still think it's because of that, because of the dog success. I think it's gone the other way. We're getting 2 free points on the favorite now, where it's shifted too much to giving the dog too much respect here. So it is like you said, it's interesting where you look at all the numbers, and it is, everyone knows this Patriots team's overrated. And that's what's so funny. These Patriots fans get so upset about it. Why would you care? You're in the dance. You made it. It's like, it's very bizarre how they're reacting to it, where it's like, you guys know you had a soft schedule. You know the teams you beat. Yes, you won those games, and it was tons of respect, but it's like, come on. I mean, were you really going to act like the path of Herbert, CJ, and then a backup quarterback was, the hardest path to every Super Bowl? No, but when you look at the Seahawks, their whole season, that was a tough path. They were in the hardest division of football. So I just don't get why they're like, so upset everyone's picking the Seahawks. Why would they not be? Why would anyone in national media who basically always picks chalk, why would they pick the Patriots? It's like, at the surface level, it doesn't really make sense. But I like you said, I'm hearing Anderson say all that stuff about all those numbers. I'm just like you, Chad. That made me feel so much better inside, where it's like I'm waving a little bit because it feels too easy. I think you have the same feeling, but it's like, no, stick to it. We're betting into a good number here. I really am confident in this Seahawks team.
Let's get a quick word in from our friends at Hard Rock. Today's show was brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet, Florida Sportsbook. The biggest Sunday of football season is this weekend. And for games like this, basic bets just don't cut it. That's why Hard Rock Bet is loaded with special props you can't find the rest of the year. Scoregami, opening kickoff, touchback, all the bets you need to make every snap matter. So if you haven't signed up with Hard Rock Bet yet, there's never been a better time. New signups can double their winnings on their first 10 bets, a max of $50. That's right. If you would have won $100 on your bet, make that $200. Plus, you won't want to miss Hard Rock Bet's $7 million big game bonus party. Place a $10 big game parlay, and you'll get a share of $7 million in bonus bets, win or lose. Every parlay counts, and the more you place, the bigger your share. I already built mine. Now it's your turn. And if you're in Florida or New Jersey, the big game energy doesn't just live in the app. Head to Hard Rock Casino for drawings, giveaways, and all the excitement leading up to kickoff. Big game week is also the best time to be a Hard Rock VIP. Hard Rock Bet is rolling out the red carpet for its MVPs, private jet, 5-star hotel, big game tickets, and more. Other VIPs will attend invite-only watch parties with special guests, high-end food, and tons of exclusive merch. If you want to get in on the action, check out the status match page at hardrock.bet/loyalty. Let them know where you play for a shot at an instant upgrade to the best signature VIP program in the industry. So download the Hard Rock Bet app and make your first deposit today. I know I want to do props, but I'm dying to ask both of you right now, how do I ladder this? I believe in the Seahawks. I bet the Seahawks, Simon, you and I talked about this 2 weeks ago now. I bet the Seahawks at -3.5 the second the game opened. I bet the Seahawks again at 4.5. I have bet the Seahawks at -25.5. If I want to be on the Seahawks, at what intervals do you think I keep betting the Seahawks as I ladder this up? Brandon, you are the laddering master. If I'm going to be on the Seahawks, what are my laddering intervals here? If I've got it 3.5, 4.5, and 25.5. Am I doing 6.5? Am I doing 9.5? Am I doing 13.5? Like, is that what I should be doing?
Yes, I was going to ask about that. So this year, I often have done 5.5 and 9.5 as kind of the starting escalator modes. And then from there, basically you're just looking at, okay, what are key numbers? And then how can I just kind of keep ducking below the key numbers? I get to choose as I go up, the main number they're putting out, we're going to get action on both sides to hone in on the number. But to me, I like 5.5. We've seen this year and more the last few years, some 6s along with the 7s. So I like to get under both of those if I can. It's usually not a huge difference. 9.5 to get out of the 10. And then maybe I go like 16.5, 23.5, just kind of like hitting a touchdown at a time on the way up or something like that. And just kind of slowly a little bit less each time. I think too, we're going to get into the props, but you can sort of correlate and say, okay, well, if they're going to win by 20, 30 points, if that is the outcome, how'd they get there? Did JSN have the huge game? Did Holani come in and get a last touchdown because Walker's already out celebrating on the sidelines? Like, you can kind of get creative with, okay, if this is the script, what are some other long numbers I can play rather than just the spread? And you can, or you can build the same game parlay and say, okay, let's put a bunch of these together. Did Darnold hit the yards? And we got the JSN game, and that's why we got this big number as well.
All right. Simon, you got any thoughts on that? You think I'm being crazy?
No, you're having fun. That's Super Bowl. I tell people all the time, the Super Bowl is supposed to be fun. Spread out your stuff. Like me, the Okamudron, I'm going to put 50% of my equity into the -6.5 Seahawks bet. Like, to me, that's fun. The fact that I'm not betting -115, I'm getting +115. That to me is my fun. Like, that's how sick I am. So yeah, it's I do these ladders too. Like, I like doing all those bets, but like, everyone just needs to remember, it's such a small percentage of your bet, right? That's your fun money. But yeah, like, you're serious if you're trying to take a position. Yeah, for me, I just lean to the getting the juice number. But yeah, if you're trying to put some crazy stuff together, Chad, you basically, we talk all the time. If you're someone out there that likes the overs, do not bet the over. Like, you can parlay it, but throw in all the touchdown scores. Like, throw in crazy parlays of different touchdown scores and get real weird with it, right? Mac Hollins, throw him in there. Like, throw in the second tight end, throw in the fullback, do whatever. Because if you bet $2 and it hits, and you hit some of these parlays, sometimes you're getting back like $1,000. It happens. So yeah, that's right. I always try to tell people, where it's like last year's Super Bowl. I think Brandon Anderson talked about this. Every year you should always bet defensive touchdown, either team, right? Special teams, if you can get it. I know the juice is different on them, but that's another bet where, if I'm doing what Chad's talking about, like, if I'm betting the Seahawks and having fun with it, laddering up, I'm going to throw defensive or special teams touchdown in there. You got to do it, because it's like Drake Maye, second-year quarterback. That's going to be part of our vision, right, Chad? If we're going to have a blowout here, we expect there maybe to be a pick six or a kick return. So that's, like we keep saying, the wildest, most fun ideas you can have, throw it in. They got a number for you. Do it. Just take it easy with the bankroll. Don't be going crazy on these parlays, right? If you're a $100 bettor on the Super Bowl, do $1 or $2 parlays, right? And just do a ton of them. It's just fun, because all of a sudden you wake up Monday morning, it's like, holy shit, I won $1,000 and I won 2 bets. And that's what we're looking for, right? These crazy long shots.
All right, Brandon, Simon just mentioned the magic words, defensive, special teams, touchdown. How are we thinking about betting just defensive props?
Yeah, this to me is a set it and forget it Super Bowl bet. Like, you can bring me on next year and I'm just going to give these exact same bets out with different teams and names. Defenses score in the Super Bowl. We have 22 defensive touchdowns in the Super Bowl, at least one in 19 out of the 59. So about 1 in 3, 13 defensive touchdowns the last 24. So that's over a half touchdown defensively per game. And this matchup, it's been defense all season. Seattle's defense all year, Patriots defense all playoffs, and Seattle had the second most giveaways in the regular season. So if our script goes wrong, we're all feeling good about Seattle. But if we're wrong, why does it go wrong? Darnold turned it over. Like, that's the reason. And it probably was a pick six the other way. And you get a 4.5 point spread, 1 touchdown that the weird oblong ball bounced the wrong way, 7 free points between 2 great teams. Yeah, you're probably going to get a different sort of turnout there. So I will say, betting defense, betting special teams, make sure to watch at the book, because sometimes you get the defense touchdown, sometimes you get the D/ST. That's what you want. You want the special teams. In this one, these teams had 8 special teams touchdowns this season. There are 13 special teams touchdowns in the Super Bowl. No punt returns yet. Maybe we'll get one here, but you want special teams as well. You can just bet, keep it easy, either team, defense or special teams touchdown, plus 265. Keep it easy. That's 27%. There are 35 defense special team touchdowns in the Super Bowls. That's 59% implied. So that's basically more than double the odds that we're getting there. But I like to get more aggressive because almost always the team that gets the defense touchdown is the winning team. Makes sense, right? Like that's the free points you got. 22 defense touchdowns, all but 3 are the winning team. So you build 2 separate parlays, and I'm playing both. Seattle defense special teams touchdown with the Seattle money line, plus 833. Patriots defense special team touchdown with their money line, plus 2,700. You get both together, it's like plus 600 implied. It's double the value what we should be getting here. And then also, defenders can win MVP. We've had 10 defensive MVPs, more defense than running back, more defense than receiver. It's about 1 every 7 in the Super Bowl. Defensive MVP you can get just at 15-1. Every defender, I get half the guys on the field at 15-1. What can't you like about that? That's 6% implied. It's like 2.5 times what the history implies there. So I like defensive MVP. And then this is my $1-2 bet that Simon was talking about. If I'm doing all that, I have to take some stabs at glory and come up with who's the exact defender. I'm going to be wrong, but 1 year randomly, I'm going to be right. So here's my 3 guys. Marcus Jones for the Patriots, 150-1. He's the 3rd cornerback. He had 4 picks this year. 2 of them returned for touchdown, 2 punt returns for touchdown. So I get the bonus there. I don't want the best player. I want splash plays. Give me the upside with Marcus Jones. And then, of course, I want Seattle guys. DeMarcus Lawrence, 150-1. He had a sack each game in the playoffs. He has 3 forced fumbles in 2 games up against Will Campbell. We like that matchup a lot. And then Ernest Jones, 200-1. 3 of the 4 defensive Super Bowl MVPs this century are linebackers. He led the team in tackles by 30 this season, led the team in interceptions. We think New England's going to get a lot of pressure and a lot of short passes, a lot of dump-off stuff. There's your linebacker, ready to just jump in the middle of the lane. You get the desperate pass late. He's housing it the other way. And wouldn't this be the team, if we're not sure about Darnold, if JSN doesn't have a huge game, don't we want a Seattle defender to be the MVP, to represent who Seattle has been about? So I like betting defense in the Super Bowl, but I especially like it this year.
I love this. I love this all. I can't wait to bet every single one of these because they also all align with what I'm looking for in the Super Bowl right now, which is Seattle to dominate. So other than the Patriots defensive special teams and money line, everything you're saying is just pure glory. We talked a little bit about escalators. Brendan, I wanted your take on that because you are so good at doing the escalators. Outside of the Seahawks, give me an idea, like the most fun bet you can make in the Super Bowl as escalators. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the most fun bet you can make, although slight disclaimer, I call this the most fun bet on Championship Sunday, and then I bet it, and then it got hooked and missed by half a yard. But we're going back to the well and having the most fun a second time. I think it's Rashid Shaheed as a runner. This is the dude they went out and traded for at the deadline, and we're going to run it back. Rashid Shaheed rushing yards, over 2.5 rushing yards. It's the most fun because not only are you're betting 2.5 yards, you're waiting for one play. We get one shot at this in all likelihood. The entire Super Bowl, we're waiting for the one gadget play. You know we're getting the trick play, the reverse, the weird sort of play that you've been holding back the whole entire season. Shaheed has a rushing attempt in 8 of 11 Seahawks games. They're using him as a runner. They're using him kind of like Percy Harvin. You might get like the backwards pass screen that counts as a run. So we want a rushing attempt. We got to start there. And he's gone over 2.5 yards, 5 of 11 games. So not quite the number that we'd want there, but that also includes a 2-yard game. And then last game was a 0. I bet him over 0.5 yards. And he had a run over to the side, and he had a yard, and he just stepped out of bounds to avoid the hit like a pansy. Get the yard, hit my bet for me. So over 2.5 yards. Rashid Shaheed, you owe me money this year. And the Patriots allowed more rushing yards to receivers than any team in the NFL this season. 149. They allowed 7 double-digit runs to a wide receiver this year. They allowed a 31. Shaheed has had a 30 and a 31 for Seattle. So I haven't seen it yet, but if you get longest rush numbers for Rashid Shaheed, longest rush escalator, a 10, a 20, a 30, if he gets a long one, what I have seen is you can just bet what player will have the longest rush in the game. Rashid Shaheed, 30-1. if we don't think New England's going to run the ball well, and we think Walker might get bottled up a little bit, I think like 15, 20 yards could get it done. We get one shot, but man, when you're watching at the Super Bowl party and you're waiting and it's the third quarter and you're like, Brandon said one shot. I know we're getting a run. And then you get the end around and Shaheed's getting the ball. Oh man, that the juicier feeling in that moment when you have one chance to hit these Shaheed bets, that's the most fun you can have on Super Bowl Sunday.
Again, the Super Bowl is very dumb. Last year, my favorite bet ever was Saquon was minus 300 to had the most rushing yards in the Super Bowl. 10-1 was Jalen Hurts. That's who led the Super Bowl in the most rushing yards last year. So I love the idea. Just think outside the box, people. Weird things happen. Super Bowl can get so wacky. It's the best.
Well, let's talk about Kenneth Walker also, because I've been betting all week. I said last week I liked Kenneth Walker over his receiving yardage total. Brandon, you've got some Kenneth Walker props that you like as well. Again, I didn't even know you were going to say this, but you're just going out of your way to make me feel good.
That's what you brought me on here for, Chad.
Yeah.
I like to make you look good. Yeah, Walker, I've been betting his receiving in the playoffs. I hit this against San Francisco. Now, obviously, Charbonnet is out, so we should get even more Kenneth Walker on the field. So last 10 games, his receiving has gone way up. 2.7 catches, 28 yards. I know that doesn't sound like much, but before that, 1.2 catches for 9 yards. All right, that's triple the yardage in the last 10 games compared to what he was early. And he's gone from 1.3 targets a game to 3.1 targets a game. Again, that's more than double what we're getting there. And again, if we're looking at the script, what's the script here? We might see some New England pressure up the middle. That is one weak spot for Seattle, is the interior of the line. Well, if you get pressure, what do you need? You need the veteran running back who's going to be on the field. You need a quick outlet to dump off, get him into space, and let him do his thing. Patriots allowed the 5th most running back receptions on the season. 12 running backs had 3 or more catches against the Patriots. So I like, Chad, the receptions bet as my base here. Over 2.5 receptions. He's had 3 catches or more in 7 of the last 10. But I think you're right to look at the yardage as well, because in those 7 games when he has 3 catches or more, he's averaging 39 yards a game. He's had 29 yards or more 6 of the 7. So I'm going to skip your 20 yards that you're going for, and I'm going to play my escalator on yardage here. 30 yards plus 160. So maybe add that onto your yardage. You get the receptions. And then, because I like receptions as the higher play, because we could hit this with 1. You just need 1 catch, and then you bounce a long one, and you might hit the yardage as well, even if you miss the receptions number.
I mean, I'm in. I'm all in, Brandon. That's exactly what I'm looking for. What can you tell me about anything on the Patriots offensive side of the ball? If we are expecting this to be the kind of game where the Patriots are trying to make a comeback, what are we looking at?
Yeah, I think that the one, not the one, but one angle I do like for the Patriots, if they can sustain it, the Seattle defense is kind of league average defending short passes. That's by design. They want that. If you're going to check it down and go on these 12-play, 14-play check down drives, Seattle says we're going to live with that, because guess what? We're going to hit you, Drake, and we're going to get you to make a mistake somewhere along the way. So I think you want somebody to catch short passes, and I've been playing New England's running back receptions as well, Rhamondre Stevenson, but they cut onto that one. They moved that line up to where I think Kenneth Walker should be. It's 3.5 receptions now. So I'm going to go to the tight end. Tight ends against Seattle has been a good thing on the season. Seattle has, since week 8, not allowed a 50-yard wide receiver to anyone but, again, the Rams. They allowed 50 to Puka Nacua about 4 times a game in that one. But anyone else, no 50 yards. But running backs and tight ends are getting more looks. Seattle has allowed a 24% target rate to tight ends on the season. They're top 6 in most yards and receptions allowed to tight ends. So Hunter Henry, I think, is in for a good game here. Not a huge game, because, again, we like Seattle. But you can be a tight end and just kind of chew up some yards and catches on some short stuff down the field. Henry's only had 6 catches in the playoffs, but we already know New England's offense has sucked in the playoffs. We have these weird weather games. They're just running all week. I don't really make too much of that. Over 3.5 catches he's had in 9 of 17 regular season games, so just about half. But, again, I looked at that one. 3.5 receptions is minus 140 for the over. I don't love doing a minus 140. You guys know I want to have the plus juice on something. So I said, okay, if he gets those catches, how about the yards? Again, similar to the Walker thing we just said, looked at the yards. He's had 39 yards or more, just over half of his games, 11 out of the 20. So I like over 39.5 Hunter Henry yards. It's plus 105 at one book. Basically, you just need 40 yards here. Seattle's allowed 40 to a tight end, 10 regular season games, and both playoff games so far. Even though they've had these dominating wins, 40 yards to a tight end in both games. Henry has only had 2 games this year where he had 4 catches or more, so he would hit the receptions, but under 45. But he's had 4 games where he had fewer catches than that, but still hit the 40 and over. So again, skip the receptions and go for the yards, and then I'll do the escalator there as well. So over 39.5, but 50 yards plus 155. Seattle's allowed that 12 times already this season. Henry's done 49 yards or more 8 times this season. And it's a little nibble. Probably this is not great for our Seattle side, but 80 yards plus 630. Henry does have a 90 and 115 this season. Seattle's allowed an 80 4 times. So probably not a bet you want to parlay with Seattle minus 25. But I do think Henry can have a big game.
All right, Simon, anything we're missing? We got to give out our final picks, but before we let Brandon go, anything we're missing? Any bets you're thinking about? Anything we haven't touched that we need to get Brandon's take on or that we want to share?
No, I mean, I love it. It's like, again, just keep using your imagination for building these parlays. If you're taking that Henry bet, Drake Maye over 20 completions, over 31 pass attempts, throw them in there. Like, again, just keep building it out, people. You're trying to write your own script for the game and you're putting money behind it. And in your idea, it might sound crazy. And then your favorite team, which I experienced, wins the Super Bowl by 30 points and has a defensive touchdown. It's like you build these bets because it comes through. It sounds wacky and you're doing it. It's like, this will never hit. They hit. That's what, like, I feel like he's giving you guys a script right now of, I mean, like, I didn't even look at the script. I didn't mean to step on him with a defensive touchdown one, but that's when I'm just like him. I blindly play it every year and it happens. Like, I know we just got one last year, but I mean, it's the NFL. These things happen in twos. So, I love it all. So yeah, people can tell how fired up I am. I'm already ready for Sunday, and I got 3 more days, Chad, just to try to make it to the Sunday.
I love the my favorite team wins by 30 in the Super Bowl, just nonchalant, he says, to a Vikings fan and a Bears fan. Like we have any idea what that means.
One day.
Don't give credit to Chad. He's been insufferable about the Hoosiers. Don't give him any love right now. He's on a different stratosphere.
It's been so hard for me these past few weeks. Brandon Anderson, read him, listen to him, follow him at the Action Network in the Action Network app. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Simon, got to give out our final 5 picks for the contest. Tuesday, we will announce the grand prize winner of the Sharp or Square Pro Football Pick'em contest. Again, thanks to everybody for playing. It's fun to get people together and compete with each other and have a good time to talk about it. Our 5 official Super Bowl contest picks. Are you ready? Seattle minus 4.5. First half, New England plus 3.5. We're going to give a little bit of logic on all these. Over under, we're going with the total under 45.5. We're going with Drake Maye completions over 19.5. And we're going with Rhamondre Stevenson total rush yards under 53.5. Anybody who's hearing that can see that we believe the script is going to be Seattle wins this game. Patriots are going to have to make a comeback in this game. Not a lot of rushing attempts for Stevenson. Not a lot of opportunities. And Drake Maye with a lot of short check down passes with Brandon Anderson, just talked about as being sort of the one thing the Seahawks like to give up. Feel like everything we picked, Brandon Anderson helped buttress our thinking.
Yeah, hopefully we are right about how we think the strip's going to go here, but it feels like that type of game, right? When you broke it down, that there's a lot of numbers backing up what we're saying. We don't just blindly want to take this huge public favorite, right? There's got to be numbers and things behind it to back it up. And I found tons of stuff that backed up argument, and he's just adding to it, right? A lot of those numbers he gave out, that's great data, and it's just you can whine and complain all you want if you're a Patriots fan. That's real numbers. Like, that's nothing you can push up back against. So, when I look at this matchup and how I think it's going to go, I asked Chad if I could put that plus 3.5 Patriots first half number in there, because to me, that number's not right. Especially when you're talking about Drake Maye, who this season is like 17-1 or 16-2 against the spread in the first half. He's been incredible. I want to take a position on that, right? Even though I think Seattle has a huge chance to blow out and win this game big time, I do think it could be a feeling out process in the first half. And that's a big number, 3.5. That feels like a gift by our contest, because most books have already moved to 3, 2.5. So we're getting sucked in a little bit here because of the hook. Can't pass up on that, the 3.5. So I appreciate Chad letting me get this New England plus 3.5 in there. We're definitely trying to thread the needle, taking the Seattle full game and the New England Patriots first half.
We're partners, buddy. We're in it together forever. Schlemazel. We're like Laverne and Shirley. We're Milwaukee's finest.
And I'll be completely honest, it would have hurt to lose that Patriots bet, obviously, in the first half. But if the Seahawks are up by 25, me and Chad ain't going to be crying. That's our dream scenario. So it's an emotional hedge as well.
Yeah,
totally. It's a great number, but it's also, we're happy either way. And I look at this game, and as much as I want to believe Seattle's going to come out hot and fast and put up a ton of points, we talked about it. Vrabel's a great coach. I think he's going to have his guys ready prepared. So I'm excited to see the chess match that's going to be Kubiak figuring out the next move against Vrabel, and how McDaniels goes against, McDonald and this incredible defense that the Seahawks team has. So, yeah, I really can't wait for the Super Bowl. It's going to be a great matchup. I know, like we said, there's not a bunch of people aren't going crazy about it right now, but I think as it gets closer to kickoff, people will. This is a great matchup.
I hope Kubiak doesn't start daydreaming about Fernando Mendoza in the middle of the game, because I know what that affliction is like. It happens to me at least an hour of my day every day is spent dreaming about Fernando Mendoza and watching new compilation videos of his touchdown run. That's it. I cannot lie. Kubiak might have that running on a reel as he's trying to call plays for this game. Simon, Chad's choice was Seattle minus 4.5. Or no, minus 6.5. Brass balls was
Patriots first drive punt.
Patriots first drive punt. Simon says was the under in the first quarter. I think we had 8.5. Look, I think we've made it pretty clear we're on Seattle. I'm on a lot of Seattle alts, and every other prop I'm on is basically a narrative in which Seattle is winning the game and New England is losing the game, and some outlier things happening. So I'm excited to see how all of this plays out. We will be back on Tuesday. This has been Sharp or Square. Thank you so much for joining us here for our first season on the Volume Podcast Network as Sharp or Square. We launched in a hurry, but everyone joined us, and that is a gift. Thank you to Matt Mitchell, our producer. Thank you to Andrew Sampson, who kicked us off as our producer before Matt Mitchell joined us. Watch or listen on YouTube at Sharp or Square. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Download us from Spotify, Apple Pod, wherever you get your pods. Rate, review, subscribe, leave us 5 stars. Say whatever you want. Feedback is a gift. Until our Tuesday Super Bowl recap show, love you.
Well, right now, Pat, the hoopla's over. They've waited maybe all their lives to be in this Super Bowl. They've waited 2 weeks since their last championship game. They're in those locker rooms now. You just want to bust out of that locker room and get on this field and get it started with.